like swung it that way by accident.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
This is So I'm Watching The Circle Season 2 on Netflix. So, this was a real filler episode. Nothing really happened. It was just sort of like...
It was oddly political.
both
American politics.
The theme and the challenge. They had to get up and make political posters for each other. Mm-hmm. And I'm loving it. Like, I'm following it. I'm loving it. But for whatever reason, I remember following season 1 a little bit better than I'm following this season.
100%.
Are you noticing that?
100%, because it's been almost every episode we've gotten to a place where someone is like, I just think that person's a sneaky snake. And I'm like, since when? Like in this episode, it was Delisa about River. And then she made that shady ass campaign poster. And I just was like, where is this coming from? River has not done anything to you.
I love Delisa.
No, she's great.
The compartmentalization that she does.
Mental gymnastics.
Holy cow. Because at the end, Chloe was like, I feel like whoever made that poster was like really
was more calculated.
Yeah, was more calculating than the poster suggested. And Delisa was like, well, I made it, but I'm just a naive girl trying to be a guy. So, and you watched it rewrite.
Yeah,
like the code
in her head.
Rewrote in her. And then she was like, click, delete.
But that's not the first time that's happened.
Oh, that's like the 17th.
It's all not just with Delisa. I'm saying where it's sort of taken me out of nowhere that someone was like, well, I hate that person.
Well, they have so little to go on.
Yeah.
And that's, again, what I find so fascinating about the show, because we made a comment, and it was even in the last episode, but the hashtags, it's so off-putting at first, but it's a way, you know how people are like, there needs to be like a sarcasm font or button?
Yeah.
That's what hashtags do, is they contextualize what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, because I remember using them, because remember there was a period of time, and this is like 2011, 12, 13, when it was new, but I would like hashtag in tweets and stuff. And I was like, I'm just punctuating a joke.
Right.
Like, I would say something mean, and then if you say shady bitch, it takes half of the...
out. Yeah.
And so I find that all very funny. But yeah, you make one mistake, because I still don't understand what happened with Savannah? Yeah. Savannah and Terralisha. Because basically, in that first thing, Savannah had made promises to 2 people.
Yeah, and she kept her promise to one person.
To one of them. It was incompatible, and the rest of the players put her through the ringer. Yeah. And so we're dealing with that right now, where Chloe has her 2 players, and Trevor has his 2 players, and they can only get so many people in here, so one of them is going to screw over one of their people.
Right.
And so that's where, because they're talking, and again, this is where the strategy part does come in, and this is the strategy part that I agree with and find interesting. But it's like, basically, whoever, like, I would betray someone if it's what I had to do, but in doing that, you're painting a target on your ass.
Sure.
I don't know. Well, and furthermore, I mean, it's going to be John. It's going to be Psychic John, because they didn't even mention him in this
Psychic John can't go home this week.
Why?
He's new.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Psychic John could vote, but can't be sent home this time. So
that's why they were so relaxed.
Yeah, Psychic John is not on the chopping block. It's going to be Kat or River. Those, I think, are the only options, because Chloe...
Kat. They don't...
I think it has to be, or I guess Mitchell, but even still, I don't know. I think it's going to be Kat. I don't really like Kat.
I don't either. Rachel does.
Yeah.
Rachel really... I mean, she's... like I said, she's coming in.
She would be fun to hang out with in person as human people.
Yeah, I like her as a human, but she's coming in with like I said, a competitive energy. But I do think, again, they have so little to go off of. I do think that she had reason to feel that way, and I do think that she also regrets not the word, but I think she's like, I shouldn't have
gone that hard. That's because that's what Delisa was saying, is she was like, I think, having had a conversation with her, I think she sort of regrets the decision to like do that. But at the same time, I feel like then you were not playing this game as smart as you thought you were, and maybe you should go home. You didn't do it right, and you biffed it.
Yeah, I would be sadder to lose Mitchell. I like him way more than I thought I did. We're nowhere near Chloe levels.
No, I'm in love with Chloe. I love her. I would do anything for her.
I mean, really, sort of.
No, for real.
Our new Essex overlord.
Yeah.
But there's... It's the same with Mitchell. Like I said, it's a very out of the mouth of babes where they say things. And I'm like, I don't think you realize how profound or betraying that was that you just said.
Yeah. Because what did he say in this one? He was like, I guess that's just how it is in life. You think you can trust somebody and then they all betray you. And
he was like, this game is just like real life. Everyone's nice to your face, but then they stab you in the back. And I was like, it's a worldview for a 22-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, wow. 22, that's the thing. It's like, I know that now as a 35-year-old, but I didn't know that at 22.
I feel the opposite. I think that, yes, of course there are going to be, but to me is what that means if that's your take is that everyone's stabbing you in the back, what that says to me is you don't have the emotional maturity to understand
what's
complex inner lives.
What's happening. Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Do you know? Because it's like more often than not, there's a reason why a person has made a choice, even if it upsets you.
Right.
It's most likely not motivated from a place of spite. Sometimes. It can be, but half the time, I mean, some of the decisions motivated from spite is saved for your best friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
what are you going to do?
But no, so I would be sad to lose Mitchell. I don't want new players to come in because they just wouldn't stand a chance.
At this late stage.
But I also want someone new.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in a Civil War place where like there's a team, there's a leader and 3 teammates and a leader and 3 teammates. And we're just, like, I don't know. I mean, what do we have, like 3 episodes left?
Yeah. Yeah. 11, 12 finale. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Shit, we're almost done.
We're almost done.
Like I said, this was a moving pieces around. Courtney's putting up a good fight and he's spicy.
I was gonna say, but he's also taking it as it comes, because he was like, he got 4th place this episode and he was like, I'm realistic, I got 4th, that's doable. And I was like, that is doable. I was like, whatever happened to coasting in the middle till the end? You know what I mean? Like, just be good enough and then make it to the end.
So no, I think so. I think people overplay their hand in this game, and they're forgetting that ultimately it is a popularity contest and people have to like you. And I think they get too bogged down in their strategy and not enough in the actually being.
And I honestly think that is where both Delisa and Chloe are playing it correct, because Chloe is playing it without any artifice. She is playing it dead straight, like she's who she is, and she is.
And like everyone's who they are.
100%. And I think that is working to her benefit. And then Delisa is playing it similarly because she knows her husband, who she's pretending to be. So she's able to get far enough there, but she's also calculated on her end where she's like, okay, but I have to remember that I am being a man.
I do love.
It's working.
I love that every single time Delisa as Trevor impresses Chloe with his like masculinity, it's directly rooted to the fact that a woman,
that she's a woman.
I literally was just like, so if all men were just women.
If all men were women and all women were women, the world. I mean, like those futuristic cityscapes where it's like, could you imagine if all men were women and all women were women?
I regret every day that I'm not a lesbian.
Same.
I would choose the lesbians over any. Gun to my head. So, okay, well, we're going to go watch the next episode and we'll see from there.